Hello, guys. I want to talk about um, some interesting stuff. The first one is what makes men really attractive to women, because that has been a thing that has interested me for a long time, and there's a lot of things that interest me, but this I finally figured out. Now we had a full moon on the 5th, and for some reason I got to download on what really attracts women to men and how does that fit together with spirituality. So the first things the first thing is that basically you have the three lower chakras, which is root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus, and the ability for men to move around the energy in the solar plexus and the ability to move around resources is what makes men attractive. And all of the qualities that women naturally seek or men naturally tend to seek for the purpose of attraction is has always to do, if you look very deeply, it always has to do with the ability to move resources. So for example, if um if a woman says, I like a guy who knows what he wants, what it means is basically that he's able to act on acquiring and moving around resources. Because, or women, for example, say they want a confident guy. A confident guy is also the ability to move around resources. They want a guy with money, that's ability to move around resources. They want a tall guy, ability to move around resources. It literally comes always down to that solar plexus energy. And to become strong, for example, as a man, you have to manifest in the 3D world also through the solar plexus. So you also have to um, have that masculine solar plexus energy, which um, which makes um, by having more muscles, for example, you're also able to move around more resources, um, repairing stuff easier, carrying around stuff easier, all of this stuff. For example, if somebody were to get sick, okay, and you had to carry them to the car and drive them to the hospital, if you're super weak, you cannot do that. And so all of these things play into the same thing, moving around resources, being able to acquire and move around resources. And it has a very biological reason, because the woman wants a guy who is able to provide those resources in the time of need. So let's say you have children, okay, the children needs this or that, then you need to be someone who can, without problems, deal with that stuff that comes up in a very quick and efficient way without any hindrance. And once you understand that, then you deeply understand what women are attracted to. You don't need to go about a hit and miss strategy. And it literally comes down to everything that you communicate. So if you don't work out, if you don't dress well, it all communicates an ability to move around resources, because even dressing well requires a lot of things around it. You need to go to a shop, you need to pick out the stuff, you need to pay for it. It all signals I have the ability to move around and acquire resources. And wherever you can, just take it. And if you can't take it, you ask for it, because if you don't ask for it in a situation where you are not supposed to take it, then it would be then toxic, of course. And once you understand this basic dynamic from the solar plexus, the masculine energy from the solar plexus, you will be able to completely lift your attractiveness level to insane levels. And there's a lot of things that can signal, for example, weak male solar plexus energy. For example, not knowing what you should be doing, questioning stuff in a way that's not very productive, being Like, let's say you go somewhere, it's like, I don't know where we should go. Where do you want to go? It's just, it just signals you are not able to move around resources. And so if you think of it from that perspective, you will be able to take charge, and thereby you will be massively becoming attractive. And it literally needs to come down to everything: the way you communicate, the way you dress, the way you behave, the way what you do every day, what your purpose is, all of this stuff. Because, if you say, for example, as a spiritual person, and now we come to the point of the spirituality. If you say, oh, I live my day without planning, I trust the universe, that might seem superficially interesting for someone, in terms of like, wow, he's able to do that, he doesn't have the fear. But it's not attractive inherently. It's actually the opposite of attractive, and to women. And so once you understand that, you can be spiritual and at the same time avoid speaking and talking in a way that's just highly unattractive. And that will be beneficial because you will feel your masculine energy, you enjoy your masculine energy more. So you can, is it really congruent with spiritual life? Yes and no. You basically, there's only one way to supersede this whole thing, and this is if you realize that the absolute bliss and happiness, and you exude that, on 100% level, that this that you are in extreme bliss, okay, independent of the outside, then you will not need to be attractive to anyone. You will have absolutely no need for anything. And that sense of this um, disconnection will be interesting, for others, because they will wonder, how come he's so happy? How come he isn't doing this and that and he's still happy? So there is a way out, but in general, you don't need to purposefully um say or do things which are not in the masculine solar plexus benefit, that don't give you, or energy. So you don't need to say things. Just, it's better to keep quiet, or just you shouldn't be lying. This is not about lying. This is about saying something truthfully, which just exudes more male, um, masculine solar plexus energy. I have the ability to move around resources. And for example, being determined, is one of those ways. If you talk to someone, just basically, be very communicating that you can move around resources, but not in a kind of like, it's more of in an abstract way. So you like, um, for example, if you wait too long to um to make a move, then you are signaling that you're actually not able to move around resources, as an example. So so it's communicated in a lot of subtle ways, and verbally, non-verbally, and those need to be perfected in order to enjoy this masculine energy, basically. Otherwise, you're leaving it just to chance, which is okay if you're good looking, but otherwise, or maybe you intuitively do one or two things right, but understanding it this way on a solar plexus level will allow you to fix every single point, which you probably have not done yet. And um but at the same time, you also want to give yourself the chance to completely spiritually awaken, in the sense that you don't need then anything anymore. I think the combo was pretty nice. I think the combination of both of these things until the full awakening happens is kind of nice, because you don't want to be blocking your masculine energy. Because if you block your masculine energy, then it's gonna create health problems within you as well. So you want to enjoy that energy, and it's very easy. It's just a question of conditioning yourself to it. It's also a question your age, because of course, in my case, I've been 25 years conditioning myself in the wrong way. And especially with spiritual awakening, I was like, oh yeah, I live without plan. I don't, I'm good. Everything is fine. But then I was wondering, like, why is everybody running away from me? And now I understand. So it makes me understand also why it's very, very simple, in the sense, like, we as guys, as soon as we like someone physically, our heads just turn, whether we are spiritual or not. I'm an awakened being, and I still like really hot girls. Like, there's a certain type that I really go for. Of course, I'm much more in the heart energy than I used to be. And with the tantra massages, everything changed for me in terms of like understanding energies and what I'm attracted to. But now now I understand that a lot of things that I've been communicating verbally and non-verbally just weren't attractive. And the same way women have this, but the women, they 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 look for not so much for the physical. The physical is one aspect of the ability to move around resources, whereas the men usually only look for the physical, and later maybe a little bit the the feminine, motherly type of qualities. But it's really, men are not that, in general, are not that requiring of many things. Um, Whereas women require much more from the men than men from women in general. Ideally, you also have the chakra relationship on the three chakras plus the soul plan thing. That's another thing. But you don't, what I'm saying is, you shouldn't be negating all of these things. That this is like really what you want, the chakra soulmate relationship, the soul plan relationship. But you shouldn't be unnecessarily making it complicated and making yourself unattractive by saying the wrong things, basically. Okay. It's just as simple, you're not changing, you're the same person, you're just showing yourself differently. It's just like you're putting on different clothes, and the clothing also is a major part of that, because even the ability to acquire nice clothes and put it together and in a certain way also shows ability to move around resources. So all these things are important, and especially also women shouldn't be judged for it, because it makes a lot of sense for them biologically. They want to have a guy that 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 is able to manage all of this. Um, when it gets tough within a family, and things need to be taken care of, they want a man who can do that naturally. So any man who is also on that journey and tries to understand what's really going on, this reflection, this stream will help them a lot if they really understand it.